Hi guys, so I know I look a bit weird and it's because my hair's up and it's off my face because I like my makeup today, and I feel like when my hair's back off my face you can sort of appreciate my makeup a bit more. That sounds really stupid. Alright, so today the video I have for you is my what's in my Z palette video. I'm literally just going to show you all the eyeshadows and blushes that I have in my Z palette. So if you would like to see what is in my Z palette, then please carry on watching. Right, okay, so to start off, I have the large Z palette, and I do own another Z palette as well. I think it's the medium size one. I'm pretty sure that my other Z palette cost me around £15, and this one I'm not sure of the price because my mum bought it for me for Christmas, but I think it was maybe around like £20 or something, which might seem quite a lot for just a plain old palette that has nothing in it. But what I love about a Z palette is you can put whatever you want in them. So if you were to buy a MAC or a Morphe palette, or say like an Urban Decay Naked palette for instance, then they're already going to have the shadows already in, whereas with this you get to choose whatever you want in your palette. And I love the fact that you can put blushes in here, you could put like bronzers if your bronzers are depotted, and obviously you can just depot your own eyeshadows into this, say if they are in a pre-made palette. So yeah, enough of my rambling. So I'm just going to show you what's inside of it. So on this top row I keep my more sort of lighter sort of neutral shades. These shades along here, this one here is Vanilla Bean by Makeup Geek, and this is the first shade in the palette. So as you'll be able to see, Vanilla Bean is a very sort of muted buttery bone shade, but it's got a little bit of like yellow to it, so it's really beautiful. But I will say that when I first picked this up I thought that it was just going to be a matte shadow. It does have the tiniest little specks of shimmer in there, but it is really nice, and especially for a brow bone highlight, for a very subtle brow bone highlight, I really love this shade. So yeah, that's Vanilla Bean by Makeup Geek. Okay, the next shadow I have in the palette is Makeup Geek Shimmer. A lot of these shadows are by Makeup Geek just because I find they're really pigmented, they're really easy to blend, and they're super affordable. So yeah, I absolutely love Makeup Geek. So yeah, this is Shimmer. This is a very sort of pinky, it's a quite sort of neutral shadow. It has little specks of shimmer in it, hence the name. Yeah, I'd say it's more sort of pink than a yellow tone, so it's a more sort of, it leans towards the neutral side, but it's a little bit more pink than neutral, if that makes sense. This, it literally is one of my favourite inner corner highlights ever, and it's really nice to highlight the brow bone as well if you want a really intense brow bone highlight. I haven't actually used this to highlight my face, but I reckon that this would be absolutely beautiful to highlight the face with. So yeah, so that's Makeup Geek's Shimmer. My next shadow in the palette is Makeup Geek's Peach Smoothie. As you'll be able to see, this shadow is used a lot more than the other ones. This is literally my go-to transition shade for any single eye look, whether it's a cool tone look, a warm tone look. This is literally my go-to, so I absolutely love this shade. As you're able to see, it doesn't swatch very sort of, like, it doesn't look massively overly pigmented when it's swatched, but on the eyes this is so beautiful. What I love about this is that you can actually build this shadow up. So earlier when I was applying my eyeshadow, I applied this as my transition shade, and I took it sort of right up almost into the brow bone, and literally when you keep packing on the colour it just gets darker and darker, and it works up to this really beautiful peachy sort of light orangey shade. So yeah, I love this and I highly recommend this. I know this is a lot of people's favourite transition shades, but it really is so amazing. So yeah, I'd highly recommend this for a transition shade. And as the name suggests, obviously it's a peach shade, so hence the name Peach Smoothie, and I just love the name of this shadow as well. I just think it's so cute. Next up in here I have Beaches and Cream, and I know that this is Manny MUA's favourite transition shade. That's why it's in his Manny MUA palette, the one that him and Makeup Geek collaborated on and came out with. But yeah, this is Beaches and Cream. It's a little bit more sort of neutral than Peach Smoothie. It's not as sort of peachy toned, a better transition shade for if you don't really want a more sort of peachier vibe. Myself, I love peach movies. It's sort of a more warmer tone shadow, but I find it works with anything. But I find that when I apply a sort of cooler toned eyeshadow look, that I prefer to go in with peach smoothie just as it is a little bit warmer. And if I am to just go in with all cool tone shadows on my eyes, it can make me look really sort of dead and not with it. So yeah, I really like to sort of go in with peach smoothie as it sort of warms my eyes up first. But if not, if you're more sort of a cooler tone and neutral sort of person, and you just like to wear a sort of neutral shadow all over your lid with a little bit of mascara, then I'd highly recommend Beaches and Cream, as it's more of a sort of neutral tone shadow. And Beaches and Cream and Peach Smoothie are matte, by the way. So the next shadow that I have in my Z palette is Makeup Geek's Creme Brulee, and I really love this and Peach Smoothie blended together. I'll first start off by applying Peach Smoothie first, and then I'll apply Creme Brulee on top just to sort of deepen it up a little bit. And sometimes I find that that's all I really need to do if I just want a little subtle smoky effect to my eyes. Creme Brulee is more of a sort of warmer tone, light brown, but I really love this shade for just sort of, as I said, deepening up the eyes a little bit if you don't want something as intense. So yeah, that's Creme Brulee by Makeup Geek. The next shadow I have is Cocoa Bear by Makeup Geek, and this literally is beautiful. It's a really warm, rich brown. It reminds me a lot of like chocolate. I don't know if anyone else gets that vibe from this shadow, but yeah, this just reminds me of chocolates. I love to sort of, like I said, with the sort of Peach Smoothie and Creme Brulee, then I would go in with this just to deepen it up just that little bit more and make it a little bit more sort of a true rich brown. I love this for a smoky eye. I really recommend this if you're after a true sort of rich chocolatey brown matte shadow. And again, the last 3-4 shadows I've mentioned have been matte, so I'm all about that matte life. So the next shadow I have here is Mocha, and this is a very sort of cool tone brown. It's a very sort of deep cool tone brown though. I really like applying this with a sort of cool tone smoky eye, or even if I'm applying a sort of warm tone smoky eye but I just want a little bit of sort of cooler tone in the crease. So yeah, this is Mocha by Makeup Geek, and this is more of a sort of cooler tone brown. My next row, I have my sort of darker shades. So I have some sort of plummy purples, and then it gets down to more sort of the black. So I'm just going to move along this row. Dipped my nail in that. So the first shadow I have in this new row is Bitten. When I was purchasing Makeup Geek shadows, I knew that this is the one shadow I really wanted, as well as Peach Smoothie. But I love this shade so much, especially for a really rich purple smoky eye. This is absolutely beautiful. It's a really rich purple with a sort of red and plus a sort of pinky undertone to it, almost like a cranberry. It's really hard to explain, but I hope you understand what I mean. So this shade is absolutely beautiful, especially for a purple tone smoky eye. Next up, I have Makeup Geek's Cherry Cola, and again, this is one of my favourite shadows by Makeup Geek. I just love the name. Again, with like Peach Smoothie, I just think that it's so cute, like Cherry Cola, and I love Coca-Cola, so why wouldn't I love this eyeshadow? So this is a more sort of rich purpley shade than Bitten. Bitten is a little bit more sort of red. This is a lot more sort of plummy, sort of purpley. I think this looks absolutely stunning on green and blue eyes. It just really does make the sort of green in green eyes pop. I myself love this, especially on the sort of lower lash line or just sort of dusted through the crease. I love this shade, so that is Makeup Geek's Cherry Cola. The next shade I have in here doesn't really sort of go in the palette very well. I think it's because I have to take this bit off, I'm not sure. But this is MAC's Sketch eyeshadow, so moving on to MAC eyeshadows. Now, so yeah, this is Sketch by MAC. And I really love this shade, I'm just going to repeat myself, for a really sort of deep purple smoky eye, along with Bitten and Cherry Cola. I love how this has little shimmers in it, so it's really nice. When it catches the light, it's so pretty, especially on green and blue eyes. So yeah, this is MAC's Sketch, and it's a very deep purple. It's more of a sort of maroon purple, but that's MAC's Sketch eyeshadow. Next up, I have Makeup Geek's Americano. This is one of my favourite deep, rich browns. This is very, very deep. This is the darkest brown I own, I think. It's very sort of near to black, but it's absolutely perfect for a really deep brown smoky eye, especially if you have this on the lid and have a sort of lighter shade like Mocha or Cocoa Bear in the crease. So yeah, this is Makeup Geek's Americano. I love the name of this. I just think it sounds really just sounds really cool. I just love the name. So yeah, this is Americano by Makeup Geek, and this is a matte shadow. Next up, we have a matte black, and this is Makeup Geek's Corrupt eyeshadow. And again, this is a really, really nice sort of deep black. But I will say that I do prefer Blackout from Urban Decay, just as this is pigmented, but not as pigmented and intense as Blackout from Urban Decay. So yeah, this is Makeup Geek's Corrupt, and it's a matte black shadow. If I'm not going for a really intense black, then I like to sort of just dust this lightly on my outer corner, just if I don't want something too intense. Okay, moving on to my next row, I have my more sort of like shimmery foiled shadows, my sort of more lid shades. So I'm just going to start off. This is Makeup Geek's HIGHWIRE. This is a really sort of intense sort of silver shade, and this is a foiled eyeshadow. This has more of a sort of purple reflect to it. So in some lights it almost looks like a sort of light lavender shade. So I really like this, especially sort of if you're doing a spotlight eye. I really like this in the sort of centre of the lid, just to add a little pop of something to the lid. So Makeup Geek's HIGHWIRE. Next up, I have MAC's Satin Taupe, and this is a really sort of raved about eyeshadow like a couple of years ago, so I picked this up just for the fact that everyone kept talking about it. I think it was actually Velvet Ghost, Gabby Lindley, or here on YouTube, also known as Gabriella Rose. I picked this up because she had this, and I was literally, well, I still am, but I was obsessed with her channel at the time, so that's why I picked it up. This is a very sort of, one thing I will say about this is when you swatch it on your finger, this literally looks insane. And then when you apply it to your eyes, it's not as pigmented. I think that's why I sort of lean towards Makeup Geek and Morphe shadows more than MAC. But yeah, Satin Taupe is a very sort of purpley, again, sort of like HIGHWIRE. It has more of a sort of lavender sort of vibe to it. As you can obviously tell, it's more of a sort of taupey shade. So yeah, this is Satin Taupe by MAC. And this is one of the satin finishes, as the name suggests. Next up, I have one of my favourite lid shades ever, which is Makeup Geek's Flamethrower. And again, this is a foiled eyeshadow. This is absolutely beautiful, especially on sort of any eye colour actually. But I just love this on green eyes. It really helps the green to sort of stand out, as it has that sort of coppery tone in there. So yeah, this is Makeup Geek's Flamethrower. Love this shade, and yeah, I don't have anything else to say about it apart from it's beautiful. Next up, I have a shadow from Anastasia Beverly Hills, and this is the shade Sienna. Now, I'd heard Katie from Luster Luxe talk about this shadow literally like all the time, so that's what made me pick this shadow up, because I literally just love her. Her and Desi are literally like my favourite YouTubers ever, or like favourite people ever. So yeah, this is Anastasia Beverly Hills Sienna. This is a really sort of orangey red tone brown. I absolutely love orange eyeshadows, so yeah, this is absolutely beautiful as a crease colour, or even an all over lid colour if you're going for a brown matte smoky eye. And I did apply this as my all over lid shade on, I think, Saturday the other day, and it looked insane. So Anastasia Beverly Hills Sienna eyeshadow. Next up, I have another eyeshadow from Anastasia Beverly Hills, and this is Hot Chocolate. And this is a really sort of, it's very similar to Makeup Geek's Americano. I just hit myself in the face. I'm not sure if you'll be able to tell, but I think Hot Chocolate leans towards the more sort of warmer tone. Americano's a little bit more sort of cooler. But yeah, this is Hot Chocolate by Anastasia Beverly Hills. Again, I love the name of this because I love hot chocolate. So again, this is absolutely beautiful in the sort of outer corner of the eye, just to sort of smoke it up a little bit. And I really wish, I only own 2 eyeshadows from Anastasia Beverly Hills, but I really wish I owned more because they're literally some of my favourite eyeshadows ever. I just have to get more of her eyeshadows. Next up, I have a blusher, and I only have 2 blushes in this palette, but this is the MAC Harmony blush. Now you're sort of probably wondering why I have this, because it doesn't look very sort of like a pretty blush shade, and that is actually because I used to use this blusher to contour. I like this when I have more of a sort of fairer complexion, but I find that when I sort of wear fake tan, that it isn't that great of a sort of contour for me. It sort of makes me look a bit ashy, but when I'm more of a paler complexion, I love this to contour with. This is more of a sort of cooler tone shade, so that's why it's so good to contour with. I myself find that when I'm paler, cooler shades work better with me, and when I'm a little bit sort of more tan, warmer shades actually work better with me. Something that isn't a little bit, not too orange, but more sort of in the middle. Like, I can't have anything that's too cool tone because it makes me look really ashy. And this is a matte blush as well, by the way. I also love to just pop this in the Z palette because obviously it is just a singular blush, and I just love to use this as an eyeshadow, again, as sort of for a transition shade, so that's why that's in my Z palette. The next blush I have, well, the last blush I have in here is Makeup Geek's Bliss blush, and I actually just picked this up on the Makeup Geek site when I made an order with them, because this was only $5, and I think her blushes are normally $10. This was way before we could get Makeup Geek in the UK, by the way. But yeah, this is a really beautiful light sort of apricot peachy shade, and this doesn't show up too much on the cheeks, which is actually a really nice thing about it, because you can sort of just keep building it up and you don't look like you've got overly orange cheeks. So yeah, this is Makeup Geek's Bliss blusher, and this is also matte. My next row I have here are more sort of colourful eyeshadows. So I have some foiled eyeshadows from Makeup Geek, and then I have some Morphe brushes shadows down the bottom. So let's just get straight on into it. So I have Makeup Geek's Pegasus, which is a foiled shadow, and as you'll be able to see, this is a straight up sort of sea blue shade. I love this shadow, especially in the summer. This looks absolutely stunning with a sort of orangey sort of shadow through the crease, and this on the lid, you're good to go, especially on blue and green eyes, and also on brown eyes actually, which looks so beautiful and so pretty. So yeah, this is Makeup Geek's Pegasus, and this is just a straight up blue shade. The next shade I have in here is Makeup Geek's Secret Garden, and this is actually one of the duochrome eyeshadows, which I absolutely love. This is literally one of the most beautiful eyeshadows I own. It's green, but in the light it almost looks purple, but then in some lights it looks brown, but then in some light it looks sort of blue. It's really beautiful. I just can't explain. This literally is one of my favourite eyeshadows for the lid. Again, on any eye colour, this would look absolutely stunning with a nude lip, especially. I just love darker eyes with a nude lip, as you can probably tell. Yeah, this is Makeup Geek's Secret Garden, and this is one of the duochrome eyeshadows. The next shadow I have in here is Makeup Geek's Enchanted Forest, and I love this because I love the name of it, because when I was younger, me and my granddad used to play a game called the Enchanted Forest. It was a little board game. I don't know if anyone else would have had that game, but it was literally my childhood, so that's another reason why I picked up this eyeshadow, just because of the name. And this is a really beautiful sort of, it almost matches my nail varnish actually. This is a straight up sort of true green matte eyeshadow. It's a very sort of olivey, khaki, deep matte. Almost done. The next shadow I have here is Makeup Geek's Typhoon Foiled Duochrome eyeshadows, and again, this is a beautiful light lime green with almost like brown reflex to it, so this is stunning, especially for a spotlight eye. I am thinking of doing a tutorial using this and the next shadow I have to show you. So yeah, this is Makeup Geek's Typhoon Duochrome eyeshadow. Okay, and then the last shadow from this row is Makeup Geek's Duochrome eyeshadow in Karma, and this is literally, oh, this is just stunning. This is a goldy sort of light green shade. It also has a little bit of yellow in there as well, so this is absolutely stunning, and it has almost like little gold reflex in it, so pretty. So that's Makeup Geek's Karma. and I will be doing a look using Typhoon and Karma together. Okay, and then finally moving on to my last row, this is my more sort of colourful eyeshadows. These four here are from Morphe brushes, and then my last one is my Makeup Geek, and it's just a backup of Peach Smoothie because, as I said, it's my favourite transition shade, so I just have a backup of it the last time I made an order on Makeup Geek. So yeah, that's why I have another one down there, because it's just my backup. This is Fiesta by Morphe brushes, and this is a very sort of papaya orange. I love this again in the summer. It's really, really pretty, and it looks so stunning with a sort of coppery pigment on the lid, sort of like what I have on today. So yeah, this is Morphe brushes Fiesta. The next shade I have here is Gumdrop, and this is also by Morphe brushes. This is a more sort of pinky, red toned, vibrant orange. I really love the name of this. I just think it's so cute, as I just love sweets. Hence why I have no teeth left. But yeah, I love this shade again in the summer. I just feel like I'm repeating myself. I also think that this would be really pretty as a blush as well. Just a little pop of colour on the cheeks if you had a really sort of neutral eye going on. You feel me? So then my last red eyeshadow is Redhead by Morphe brushes, and I really appreciate the name of this, as say if you was looking at this on sort of the website or whatever, you'd know that it's just a straight up red. The fact that it's just called Redhead, so yeah, it just really sort of stands out to you. So yeah, Redhead by Morphe brushes. So yeah, this is a straight up vibrant matte red. Okay, and then my last shade is Sunflower by Morphe brushes, and you're probably thinking like, Chloe, why do you have a yellow eyeshadow in your sort of go-to eyeshadow palette? And that is just because I just love being colourful and creative with makeup. So yeah, this is Sunflower. The name of this is just so adorable. Like, when you think of sunflowers, you just immediately think of yellow, again like with the Redhead shade. So yeah, Sunflower. So yeah, this is a vibrant matte yellow. So yeah, also mine has little specks of black eyeshadow in, because sometimes when I apply like my black eyeshadow, I get a little bit of fallout into my other shadows, so that's a bit annoying. But yeah, that's my last shadow. And then again, like I said, I just have a backup of my favourite transition shade, Peach Smoothie by Makeup Geek. So that is all of my shadows in my Z palette. As you can see, this is absolutely huge. It's literally bigger than my head, so that's saying something. So I really hope that you liked this video, guys, and perhaps found it useful. If you want to try out any sort of new eyeshadows, or you want to pick up some Makeup Geek eyeshadows, some Morphe brushes eyeshadows, some Anastasia Beverly Hills, some MAC, I really hope that this inspired you with some more colourful eyeshadows. And yeah, if you like this video, then please give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you'd like to see more upcoming videos from me, and I will see you in my next one. So take care, bye!